Cold Rex 10. If you want to improve your lateral explosiveness, there's a few ways that you can do that. My favorite way to train that, an effortless way to train that, is one, search RMT rope plus David Weck, W-E-C-K. The reason why using an RMT rope is going to significantly improve your lateral explosiveness is because, well, for multiple reasons. Firstly, using an RMT rope, right, your body's connected from fingers to toes. So as you swing this rope around, you're going to get a better understanding of where your body is in time and space. The better awareness you have of your own body, the better you're going to be able to control it. So basically, as you start to learn different rope flow patterns, you're just going to have a better control of your body as a whole, which is going to allow you to explode, not only laterally, but it just allows you, it just unlocks this quality of movement that's hard to put into words, right? Like I noticed not only did my movement improve, my running technique improve, my juggling improved after using the RMT rope. It's like all your attributes get better from swinging this rope around. And, you know, it's not expensive at all. You can make one yourself at your local hardware store. You could tie two shoelaces together to make one. You can use a towel. You know, you could order one online for $25, something like that, maybe $20, right? So it's just a cheap, lightweight, portable tool that you can bring with you everywhere you go for the rest of your life. It's like having a soccer gym at your fingertips. And right, since you could bring it everywhere, there's no friction. It's not like you have to go to a gym or to a pitch just to improve your athleticism and your timing and your rhythm and your coordination. So for all those reasons, this is probably the most effortless way to improve that lateral explosiveness. Lateral explosiveness. Lateral explosiveness. You want to search Kador Ziani, Z-I-A-N-I, 7 Postures. He's got a book out called 7 Postures, but you don't need to buy the book. He's got hundreds, if not thousands, of videos online that are going to show you how to do these 7 stretches that will just, right, the subtitle of the book is called Unlock Your Athletic Potential. And just to give you an idea of how explosive this man is, he's 49 years old. He's 5'9". He can still dunk on a 10-foot hoop barefoot, right? So that kind of tells you of his quality of his training and of his movement, right? With these simple exercises, you can really start to develop some strength and flexibility in your toes, in your feet, and in your ankles, which are all essential for being explosive laterally, right? And you know, I bought his book. I say his book is worth more than his weight in gold. And I've been, you know, this is something that it's so subtle, especially, right? Because there's some active stretches, there's some passive stretches too. So he's changed the way I sit. He's changed the way I sit in cars. He's changed the way I sit in planes and trains. It's just something that it's such a nuanced part of my life that he's changed, but it's created it's just created just a higher quality of flexibility and a range of motion and strength and balance in my legs and in my whole body, right? Some of his postures, they allow you to decompress your spine. I just thought I was an athletic person before I read his book, 7 Postures, and before I started checking out his videos. But after I checked out his videos and after I started using some of his stretches in his book, I've just never looked back. So I can't recommend this enough. Lateral explosiveness. I mean, it's all about the feet, right? So they say you spend most of your time in your bed and in your shoes. So beds are kind of hard to change, but there's a pair of shoes that I've fallen in love with because it's a minimalist pair of shoes. And when I say minimalist, all I mean is that it gives you full range of motion in your ankle. It allows your feet to expand, right? If you take a step on the ground barefoot, you'll notice your feet kind of expand as you step on the ground. And when I say minimalist, I mean it gives you shoes that give you the ability to have they don't restrict your toe movement, right? So you have full range of motion in your toes. It's not limiting in the toe box, the toe area, right? So these things in mind, the pair of shoes I fall in love with is called xeroshoes.com. XER shoes.com. And I love them because they look like shoes that you would go out like to have a nice dinner with, and they're not a pair of goofy looking shoes, or the toes aren't exposed. So for all those reasons, right, it's not always ideal to go barefoot in certain scenarios, but if you could have a shoe that looks great to go out with and is also a minimalist shoe, I think that's right on, because some shoes, each step you take make you weaker. For example, shoes that are too narrow, shoes that have an elevated sole that restrict the full range of motion in the ankle, and then shoes that have a narrow pointed toe that kind of restrict your toes movement. So for all those reasons, xeroshoes.com are my favorite shoes, and I have no affiliation with them, even though I wish I did. So that's something that you could check out. What else? Explosive laterally. Core strength. There's a book called Underground Secrets to Faster Running, right? Anything that's going to make you run faster is also going to make you jump higher. So there's an ab exercise from that book. It's called the torture twist. Some people got great leg strength, but that doesn't translate to on-field explosiveness because their obliques and their core limits their potential. So if you look up the torture twist, there's a couple different variations. You want to learn all the variations because this will allow you to do this exercise at the gym. This will allow you, there's different machines that you could use to do this exercise. This exercise you could do, right, there are variations you could do at home, and there are variations you could do at a pitch, right, at a soccer field, football field, whatever. So for all those reasons, the torture twist is the one exercise I tell all that I scream from a mountaintop, because it's just going to make you not only be explosive laterally, but also will help you run faster and jump higher. What else? Let's give you one more to be more explosive laterally. If you search Louis Simmons jumping from the knees. Louis Simmons was used to be the top 10 strength coach in the United States, maybe the world. He passed away a couple years back, but he's created strength training for every single team in the NFL. I'm sorry, strength tools for every team in the NFL. He's the maker of many strength tools in the NFL, and also at every single high level, right? So every top 25 football program in the United States has his machines. One in particular is called a reverse hyper machine. I've bought two in my life. At Ohio State, they have 200 pounds welded on. It doesn't go lower than 200 pounds. This is so most gyms don't have a reverse hyper machine, but you can use his jumping from the ground technique to really help start to develop explosive hips, and it does require some core strength. And you could start by jumping with no weight from the knees. Then you start to add weight to your hands. You could start to put on a weight vest, and he says beginners can use 20 jumps a week using this technique, and then someone who's advanced can aim for 40 jumps a week. And this is split between different workouts. You can use it as a main mover exercise. You can also use it as a finisher. You kind of want to end on a good jump. So for example, let's say you start with jumping with no weight. Maybe you finish, maybe in the beginning you do 5 jumps, give yourself a little bit of rest in between, and then finish with maybe 5 pounds of the hands, or maybe you use a dumb holding in both your hands a 5-pound dumbbell, or jump with a medicine ball, and you start to progress to where you're jumping with more and more weight. This is another way that's going to help you become more explosive laterally. So give those things a try, and reach out with any questions. I hope this helps. All right, thank you.